Hi folks, JP here from the podcast. Just to let you all know that the podcast is sponsored by AB Entertainment, and the AB stands for Mr. Alec Beveridge. It's a DJ and entertainment business. Alex is on Facebook and Instagram, and you can hit him up through the WhatsApp for any bookings on 07845 746 092. And also folks, the podcast has taken on a new partner, and we're partnered by MCM Framing Services and Hoops Memorabilia. If you want any jerseys, or if you've got any memorabilia sitting around you want framed or anything looked after that way, contact John Mullaney, and you can get him at johnmullaney0971@gmail.com, or contact him on his mobile 07835 072 582. And here at the Unrestricted View, we hope you're all enjoying the content, and if you are, please like and subscribe. It's free to do so, and also share amongst your Celtic family as well. Hail, hail from all of us. Good evening and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's myself, JP, and joining me this evening we've got Danny McGrain's grandson who's left him his tarp and it still fits him. I can't believe it. Years ago he looked like Wallow Flood in it, now it fits him. And the big man himself, Mr. Alan Stirling, has joined us as well. And I can see that his relationship with his McFree has went ski-whiff. Not like Rangers this season though, because it definitely went ski-whiff on Saturday. Boys, how are we? Alan, I'll start with you.
It's pretty fun at the weekend. A lot of fun. Very nice result, and more or less puts the league in the bag. So, very positive, and I think we are probably the happiest people in Glasgow, because there's a lot of people that are kind of a wee bit down, and it's all right. That's just the natural way that things should be, that Celtic win trophies. And looks like it's going to happen again. Hope you guys are well.
I'm good, mate. Ryan, just as Alan says there, mate, as Craig Levine once says, natural order has been restored, mate.
It's never been away, mate. So it's one season without fans, mate, and then it's been back in the last, well, obviously it's not confirmed yet, but it's going to take an absolute miracle. And as Chris Sutton said the other day, for us to absolutely horrendously mess it up now, mate. So, natural order, mate. I've seen people say that on Twitter. It's just mental. No, I'm absolutely buzzing, mate. Still on cloud nine. I've watched a few highlights of it again, the presses again, and just obviously back on the night just to go through things. And there was just certain points of the games and certain points, obviously, the manager pressers and beforehand and after, and you can just see, mate, that there's a big difference in the clubs on the park and off the park, and obviously we'll go into that. But I'm good, mate, obviously. Fantastic result, mate. Hope you're well as well. And let's just get stuck into the Derby dominance, shall we call
it? Yeah, lads. Well, to be fair, the results overshadowed the start of my weekend. Because as you lads know, I'm suffering a bit now with my knee. I decided to play 5-a-sides on Friday night, and I've injured my knee, so I'm going to boot for the remainder of the season, as they would say now. That's few game. I'm going to miss the next few weeks, that's for sure.
Maybe you'll get a contract with Rangers then.
Hopefully it's a 5-year one, and that's why I can remain faithful to them. But then obviously Saturday came, and Celtic took my pain away. Let's just say that. And I've not been able to wipe the smile off my face since. Why is it when this happens, Alan? You're like a wee boy again, you know, and you just never tire it. Every time beating them, and I know it's probably an old cliche. They're probably used to it now. You know, listening to the training on the way home at night with a went for a swimming lesson, and you're hearing them actually saying that, you know, Marvin Bartley believed that he knew players knew themselves that their players sort of knew they weren't going to get a result at all, and it just shows you, mate, where Celtic have now kept him, in terms of kept him at bay, and where they are now in their psyche, because they're definitely, in my opinion, mentally gone in terms of being able to face up to us. I've seen all the clips, you know, McGregor having a laugh at one of their players at the weekend, saying, you know, are you the new hard man? So Tom Lawrence. So I did tell you on Friday, Ryan, that you're better with Martin Lawrence, and that was proven again on Saturday. But Alan, what really stood out to me was just the sheer control that Celtic had from start to finish in the match, and it dictated everything that was, you know, they slowed the game down when they needed to, they sped it up when they needed to, and they, you know, they put the pressure on them at various points in the game when they needed to, and we were in total control, mate.
I read an interesting stat on Twitter earlier. It's now been 981 days since the last Rangers win against us that meant anything. Obviously, we had the dead rubber against when Ange was there, but August 2021 was the last time when Hollander scored. That was the last time that Rangers beat us that meant anything at all.
Is
a long time.
That's in the league, isn't it?
Aye.
Aye.
And that is a long time,
Yeah.
for Rangers and Rangers fans taking a wait, because we obviously seen that last year when we'd already won the league that Rangers beat us, but for an important game, it shows a lot for the Rangers team's mentality that they've struggled that long to kind of put a performance together that means something, that wins kind of games, that wins leagues. So it shows the mentality of the Celtic team as well. It shows how we're built, how we're structured, and it's the important games that we rise and we win. And I don't think we played at our best. I think the first half we played a lot of decent football. I think the second half we limited the opposition to any kind of chances, but we weren't at our kind of free flowing best. But I think we put it to bed in the first half, and we made sure that this was a game we were winning. Made sure that we're winning this league title, and there was parts of the first half that you've seen some of our best football. I think we're capable of far better performance wise. I think we've seen that in the last few games, particularly the Hearts game as well. We're capable of far better, but at the end of the day, we roll our sleeves up. We make sure that the win's the most imperative part of the game, and we make sure that we're getting the 3 points that lead us towards the league title.
Yeah, listen, Ryan, I think that's exactly what Alan's saying there. I think that's been Brendan's mantra all season, mate. The next game's the most important. And I think it's very easy this season. We've seen examples of it all, in my opinion, all season. And, it's very easy to get carried away with yourselves, especially, let's just say, for talking sake, from their perspective, mob across the water. They've got Kilmarnock on Saturday, but then the following week is against us. Now, we all know here, and everyone in the chat and watching us live just now, everybody knows that their heads are automatically thinking Celtic. They're not even looking at Kilmarnock. And it's dead easy to get carried away, Ryan. And but I think, remarkably, mate, I think that's what's been what's quality about Brendan is the fact that he keeps them level-headed, he keeps them all grounded, and they only focus on, just say for talking sake, the next one is Aberdeen before it even gets to the next Glasgow Derby. That's what's been the most important thing, I think, for me, and maybe most Celtic fans this season, is watching Celtic just prepare for the next game and not get too far ahead of ourselves.
I don't even think it's just Brendan, mate. Even Ange, when he was here, Ange was really the same. It was just, I think it's just the way we are as a club, JP. We just focus on each game at a time, because I think when we lost the season, we lost to 10, I think it's maybe no a reality check to the club, but maybe, right, okay, right, we can't be complacent. We can't just turn up and win every season by all these points, and no every season's going to be our best. No every game's going to be 5 and 6. And I think now you can see now that the way McGregor talks, the way the manager speaks, the way other players talk, even Matt O'Reilly.
Yeah.
It's just all about being calm and, right, okay, if we do get a defeat, right, maybe us as fans might complain, but in the staff and the ground and the all round of the club, it's okay, right? We just go on Monday, we look over it, we go again, and we go next week. So I think, like I say, JP, again, it was 1-0 to Brendan, 1-0 to Celtic before the game kicked off because of the press conferences. I know that people might think that I'm talking out my hooky here, but when you see a manager saying that it's okay to draw a derby game when it's a must-win for you to go and get the league title, if any chance, but then you've got Brendan Rodgers just saying,
Don't start them. Don't start them.
No, I'm not Barry. I'm not on the laugh. I'm being serious here. When you've got your manager coming out and saying that, right? But then you've got your manager just talking about being calm and having a laugh at him. Oh, you're picking my team, and we're going to have. He's so relaxed and calm because he knows what's in that dress. He knows what the fans will bring at the weekend. He knows what's going to happen at the weekend. But Brendan was teeing up the game all week about it. His pressers and the way he was beforehand. And then you've got their manager there basically saying, if we go and draw it, it's okay. And imagine, like I says, if you're one of their fans, if you're a proper fan, you're going to be going after not at that. Wait a minute here, right? You should be putting a wee bit of pressure on these players to turn up and get a victory. So, like I say, JP, I was really impressed with Brendan before the game and even after. Yes. I liked his wee dig about the media and stuff like that and after the game. And there's times where, but the thing about me with Brendan is, JP, there's times where you can see he's got that in him. So this is why he does it to the media, but I wonder what he's like in the dressing room when he don't get a result. He might just be calm, but then when he's got to be authoritative, I think he gets all the respect. Maybe there was some parts of the season I was thinking, right, some of these players don't look it here. They look a wee bit gone. But then the last few weeks, it's no coincidence that you get your full players back. And then the end of the season is maybe coming at the wrong time for his JP because the team's starting to motor now. But I do feel Alan JP's right in terms of the mentality of the manager and the way his pressers are and the way, just the mentality of the club in terms of being a winning machine and just looking to the next game or the next final, the next semi, whatever it is. I think that's another advantage, Alan, that we've got because, in my opinion, I just think they just want to beat Celtic and I don't think they've got any plan whatsoever. So that's why, for me, I just think that's one reason why we've got an edge as well, mate.
Yeah, they don't think that they've no forward planning. Like I've said to you lads before, even on here, any success they're going to have is in the intermediate. It's going to be in the kind of short term because they don't have an infrastructure behind the scenes that they don't have sustainability with it. They're not built like that. They don't operate like that. Their transfer model is erratically done. You know, it's any many more stuff. Sat the baby on the pole and let them all go for free. So it's these guys are so-called assets. You know, your Moreloses, your Kents. No long ago we were hearing them say they were going to get 25 million for Barisic because he done well for Croatia and two games of longies and a game of crosses with the team. You know, and then we're hearing that Lundstrom's going to be the next thing. You know, he's been lauded by them. He's a club legend just because he stared at Celtic fans coming out the building. And that's the only thing he's done is stare at a Celtic fan and scored an own goal in a derby. Thanks for your service, John. It's, you know, and then he's obviously, he's self sent off for having an empty head. Clueless. You know, you're going for a ball that's on your right side and you fly like a train with your left foot into the guy who's trying to shield the ball for you. And then you've got, obviously I'll put this one to you, Alan, you've got a pundit on Sky saying that he doesn't think it's a red card. Now, I think the certain pundit that I'm talking about is still suffering for PTSD with a tackle for Big Simunovic. And he's not come back the same person. I don't know what world he's living in if he doesn't think that's a red card. I seen that live in the stadium and I knew that was a red card. Now, I'll give Willie Collum his due, right? I don't think Willie Collum's seen it firsthand because of Carter Vickers. I think he's blocking the view from what I remember. But I honestly don't know in what world Kenny Miller thinks that's just a yellow card. He's the only person in Scotland that's said that. And I think that's part of the issue, boys. I think, you know, it's the same with their manager. And don't even get me started on him either, the way he analyses football. Because I wouldn't even let him give an analysis on a Subbuteo game, let alone a normal football match. If you listen to him talk, honestly, he's sniffing glue pots for Pedro Caixinha's draw. He needs tested pronto, or he needs a visit to his GP. I'm beginning to get annoyed with the guy now. I really am. He can't look at football and say he's living in reality with half the stuff he's coming away with. I don't know how you feel on that, Alan, but that's mental, man. I mean, that to me, that's just Looney Tunes, mate. He's only magical Smarties.
We'll go back to what Lemmy said about don't back down, double down. I think that's what Kenny Miller's doing. Because everybody in the studio, including Chris Boyd, was saying the exact same thing. It's clear a red card you'll ever see, ever. Maybe, as you say, with Willie Collum, see when you see it kind of in that plain action in real time, but you're not seeing the contact he's made with the kind of studs. And as soon as you go above the boot, that's a red card. So it's crazy for Kenny Miller to kind of stay in that opinion. I think he needs to go to counselling with James Tavernier because he'll be going to counsel in the borough. He'll be having nightmares night after night about a certain winger that we've got with Dyson Maida.
Borna Barisic is the same with Abada, mate. He's still suffering as well.
Aye, so no, to say that wasn't a red card, it's crazy talk. It's mental. Aye, no, I agree with Scott there as well. It's definitely a red card. And even if you kind of rewind 20 years as well, if you're putting in that kind of tackle, your legs above the ground, your studs are above the ground, then it's a red card all day long, and justice was served. And the own goal was before that as well. So John Lonsdale's been a brilliant player for us as well. So
He got man of match for us, didn't he?
Aye. So, but he's the best on earth. That's what he said before. That's the song. We should have been singing that, honestly, because he was the best on earth for us. But it just showed the kind of class we've got compared to the players they bring in. They're constantly, we're coming. We kind of let ourselves down a wee bit with some of the points we dropped previously in the season, but we've made that right and made sure. I don't think Brendan's been given the kind of rule over transfers throughout the season, and I think that's maybe the problem. I think if we had originally given Brendan kind of rule over every player that was brought in, I think that it would have been miles and miles clearer than what you see just now. But even with the players that he's had that he doesn't agree with, we're still 6 points clear with 2 games to go. So it's still a substantial lead that it makes it look as if we're dominating as well. So I look forward to next year as well, because the way it's going, I can't see anything otherwise than us completely dominating Scottish football.
Yeah. Obviously, that's been the case now for, what was this? This would be our 12th title in 13 years, Ryan. I think that speaks volumes and obviously speaks for itself. However, getting back to the game itself, what was your take on the overall play with Celtic? Because the way I seen it was just sheer dominance. Celtic, like I said, they dictated everything that happened. And when this is the thing as well, Ryan, we've always said it, mate. I think me and you spoke highly about this, about the cream rising. When your big players turn up, mate, and they are required to do the job, they never let us down, mate. Never once have they let us down. You know, Matt O'Reilly again, Callum McGregor. I don't know what Rio Hatate was doing at the weekend. I don't want to slag him off, but I think he might have had his boots on the wrong feet for spells of the game, because he kept getting the ball away, unforced errors with him. Wasn't like him. But just overall, mate, I thought our play was very good at times, and I thought the way we kept the ball as well, in such I said the same thing about when I heard Peter Grant echoing what I'd said on Saturday. I knew I wasn't talking out my rear end, and he says the way Celtic kept the ball under pressure, in big moments, there's a massive gulf between the teams, right?
Anybody, like I says, in terms of when the two teams are at full pelt, right? Anybody who knows football and they're no behind glasses, they're no one between blue tinted specs and Celtic specs or any other team outside of the two teams believes there's no a gap. It's just, no matter what gap you think it is, there's a gap there, right? Celtic have won 3 out of 4 derbies. They've won 1 out of 12 of the last 13 domestically. How can anybody with full authority sit and say that there's no a gap? It's generally embarrassing if you're coming out and saying there's no a gap. You need to be honest with yourself. Like, I'm honest with myself. If I don't like a player, I don't rate a player, and then they come good, I go, right, I've read that absolutely wrong. Like Bernaby, thought the guy was going to be good. Turns out he's no good. I apologise. I've totally made a arse of myself. Right, okay. I can admit when maybe I criticise guys too much or whatever else, or that carry on, right? But they just seem to think that there's no gap. I generally don't. All the pundits, even some of the pundits during the season as well, the league's done and who cares? The league's finished. And I knew he's saying the league was always going to be Celtics. Make your mind up, big man. Come on. Like, you can't sit on national radio and say things like that and then, I only done that because to get, do you know what I mean? The gap's big, and this is, according to some people on Super Scoreboard, it's one of Celtic's first ever teams. So what does that say about your team? That this Celtic team have not been firing for the majority of the season. Injuries to the big players, yes, they've had injuries. Granted, I get it. The two teams have no been at full strength all season. But even then, some of Celtic's fringe players could play every week for them. I've said, I'll stick by for the game at the weekend, mate. Jack Butland's a phenomenal goalkeeper, and nobody will tell me differently. No matter what team you support, the guy's top class. And I do think he's better than like Pickford and some of the guys. The guy's only no playing in England because he's playing with Rangers. It's as simple as that. If he's playing in the Premier League, he'd be getting called up to at least the squad. The guy stopped that for being 4 or 5, sorry, at the weekend. Some of his saves again, fantastic. He's probably the boy Sterling done okay for him. I'll give him his due. He's not a winger, and he done all right. I'll give him his due.
Yeah,
he's actually positioned JP, but he done well. He tried to do something.
Can't ask him to play in the wing, mate, and then play diagonal balls to him.
But they're the only two players that I would give any pass marks to for them. The only two guys that really solidified themselves in the game. For us, I thought the first half was tremendous. The goal, I'm not happy with the goal. I know we won the game, but the goal's a really poor goal to lose. Johnson's got to stop that. I don't know what Scales is doing. I think he's looking at the moon. He's got to get that and then tail at the back post. He's a height of shite. Sorry for my swearing, but he's tiny. So what's Taylor going to do? And I actually think now, when I look back now, it's maybe a foul as well on Scales because he's 2 hands on him. But even then,
see when I see it as well, right? If you're talking about the goal, see if you look at it back for the behind where obviously you sat, you watch it back again. I think Carter Vickers has gambled. I think he's gambled on somebody else getting the touch. And he went too far.
I know we spoke about it the weekend. I know what you're saying.
Maybe gambled and he went too quickly.
Johnson's got to stop it, right? The first protocol is you stop the cross. If you don't stop the cross, then it leads to your defenders. And I didn't think. I thought it was a poor goal to lose, considering where you're always susceptible to a goal when you score a goal because that team can go up the park. And it was a poor goal to lose. I wasn't happy with the goal, but the second half again. I thought it was just like it was just easy street. We kept the ball, and the only disappointing thing for me is JP. I did think we didn't go full throttle when we went down to 10 men. It happened at Ibrox as well, went down to 10 men, and they kind of tried to go, but it wasn't as much force in the second half against at Celtic Park. I want us to be a wee bit more aggressive when that happens because we could put them to the sword, mate. And I don't feel. 100%. I still feel there's a bit of that in us that we're missing for the Ange team. That's the only thing I can say that's really missing is to go full throttle, to keep going because, again, a bit more clinical and that's 4 or 5 or 6, mate. But
do you think a lot of our play was maybe overplaying it as well? Maybe in the second half as well?
See, the thing that annoys me is sometimes we try to walk it in and be too nice. Yeah. You're allowed to shoot for 40 yards, 30 yards if need be. If you feel it's on, it's on.
Well, we already had a bit of joy. I mean, look at O'Reilly's shot.
So that's what I mean. So I can agree with you on that, mate. I do think sometimes we were, but listen, overall, JP, we can be critical about the goal and maybe certain players take too many touches or not playing the right pass. But overall, you can't be critical because it's a pressure game and you've won the game and you're just about winning the league. So that's the most important thing. It's winning the game. No matter how you do it, it's winning the game. But one thing I do want to say is, I'll tell you what, see if Tati plays like that, Rogers won't play him, mate. He won't be in his team.
By the way, Ryan, we spoke about this. He wasn't happy with him.
No matter how good we think the guy is and how good he is, if he continues to play like that and get the ball away, he will not be in that first 11. He won't be because the manager won't have it. He's a possession-based manager, and if you can't keep possession, you won't be in his team. It's the same with McGregor or O'Reilly, whoever it is. He was raging after the game. He says, I'm not happy with that. So if he continues, and it's not just that, he's done it before sometimes, but sometimes I don't mind it sometimes because it's that risk taker. It's getting the ball up the park, but sometimes when you're making bad passes, it puts pressure on players, and we can't have that. But I totally agree with John there that our players are used to the pressure. The top players are used to the pressure. The guys who turned up when need be, like McGregor's, O'Reilly's, Joe Hart again was really good again. He's playing some of the best football we've seen at Celtic, Joe Hart, this season. I know we were critical about him. I'm still obviously, even before this season, we still didn't need somebody else to help him because we're all serious and Ben obviously on up to the job to take over number one at all. So, but overall, mate, for me, just brilliant, mate. But in terms of, it's meant to be the worst Celtic team. I just want them across the water. The real fans will be the guys who know football, right? The guys who know silly people will take it in and go, some of the players are really average or not doing well. Even the manager now showing red flags, and they'll understand that. And some of the stuff he's saying, it won't wash for the guys that really know the ins and outs of it. But I think some of them need to take a step back and really realise Celtic have won 12 out of 13. They've won five trebles in how many years?
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you in terms of the mentality. Again, I know it's a Celtic podcast, mate, but if I was part of a board or part of whatever, they need to change. They need to restructure. It's not just buying players. It's the full mentality of the club, because you can't just change one bit of a club and think you sort. Like Celtic, when we restructured with Ange, we changed the full thing. We changed the B team upwards, the full pathway. It was changed inside and outside. Rodgers will probably do bits of that as well with his team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think until they start doing that, we're going to, I don't want to say a free hit, but we're going to have the advantage all the time. And then you get all this financial benefit, mate, which I just really hope the summer that we put to good use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously the summer, but we'll touch on the summer when nearer that time comes. I think we've still got much more to look forward to before the summer, like obviously Trophy Day at Paradise, so that's just around the corner, Alan. And again, mate, it's for me. There was guys on the radio earlier, Celtic fans that phoned in earlier on, making public apologies to Brendan Rodgers, and it was quite nice actually to hear it, because I think even our fans have gave him, guys like Sutton and stuff like that have said he's been going through emotions, and there's been a lot said about him this season. And this is supposedly Celtic have been rubbish and crap and, sleeping at the wheel and doing this and doing that. Celtic have done what Jim Bone used to do to people on Bullseye, in my opinion, this season. They've kind of waved a wee flag in front of Rangers and said to them, here's what you could have had. And they've just went, thank you very much, and took it back off them. That's basically what they've done in a nutshell. If you look at the season, the way it's unfolded, my opinion is if Celtic wouldn't have had that blip in the season, the gap would be even bigger. Now, we're all celebrating the now with shorts and t-shirts, vests, sunglasses and all that on. They're the other side of the city. They're wearing hoodies and vests and cardigans and everything because it's -6. He took over. There were 7 points behind us. They're now 6 points behind us. So they're all 1 point better off. He's shouting about gladiators and coliseums. He's just, I've said it before, the guy is just nothing but a Belgian waffle. Honestly, he just talks one load of baloney. And all the gullibles, all the deluded, have all bought into it. Somehow this guy was Jose Mourinho when he took over. Now they're all shouting, even their own fans are all shouting, no way, Jose. So, it's, but it's awesome, Alan, to sit back and just watch it all happening, because months ago, I could have says, told you so.
I don't think it's told you so. Aye, well, we're all spot on. When me and Ryan sat here and said it, and it's not because of Brendan Rodgers, it's because of the players that were brought in. It's because of the structures and transfer windows. So we want to be positive in it. It's not told you so. They went 5 points clear. Right, that is not to be forgotten about. We need to learn from that. Right, we've got by far the better side, the better squad. But the fact of the matter is, they got really close. They got beyond us. So we need to learn from that. And we need to make sure that that doesn't happen again. The fact of the matter is, we can't. Hey, we can't slag Brendan, right? Brendan, I don't think any of the players that are brought in the summer, or possibly January, I think these were all they were all prospects that were looked upon maybe a year or two ago. So these were all guys that that were planned that we were going to bring in, and they've not been up to the job. We've managed, because of how elite Brendan is, to get all the line with this league. But I think we're all lying to ourselves. If we could look upon, what was it, 38 games that we played this year, if you can look upon that and say that they've all been the standard that we expect with Celtic, that's lies.
No, it's been a tough season, but it's been one of those seasons where we've had to show a different side to our own self. Definitely, no doubt about it.
Aye,
But that's also okay. You know, that's what's went wrong this season. Celtic fans don't accept that that's okay. And that is okay.
No, right, we're being positive. We don't want to get back into this. It's
no,
100%.
But
it's not okay. It's not right. We start the season as by far the most competent side in the league. We've got the best players. We've got the best financial infrastructure. We've got the best financial strength. Right. So we expect every season, just know with how much that we've brought in financially, that we should be the best side in this league. Everybody can agree with that. That's simple. So because of it's not because of Brendan, it's because of the money we've wasted bringing in players that only simply contributing, and that's why we've let Rangers back in. Rangers have brought in a manager that's made them win games against Hearts, Kilmarnock, etc. So it's Brendan's, how elite a manager he is, that's got us through this season. And as Ryan said earlier, I just hope next season that we show our financial muscle. We show how much strength we've got in this league, and we kick on a bit, because we have got the possibility now to absolutely batter them for the next 4 or 5 years to come. And we've had this chance a number of times over the last decade, and now we need to show that, because we've not played at our best this year, but we've still showed we're the dominant force in this country. And that's the matter of the fact, and that's shown when we win this league. But I don't think we'll look back in this season and say, "Oh, we've played vintage Celtic football. We've not played the best." I think we could all admit that. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes next week, next Saturday, we're going to be lifting this trophy, and that's the only important thing you're looking at the start of the season.
Yeah, not 100%. And that's the thing as well. Like, what we expect and what the demands of the Celtic fans that we expect from the team, they haven't let us down this season, because they're ready to win the league again. So they've not played as well as they can in certain games this season, which is okay. It's a long ass season, man, and it's hard to continue a level throughout the majority of the season and keep it going. And you play a lot at Celtic because you are successful, because we're going for trophies, Ryan, and we're always, like Brendan says, we always come alive when the big things are dished out at the end of the seasons. There's such a demand put on the individual in terms of the players and stuff like that. So it's one of those ones. It's not went the way we would have wanted it to. Brendan's admitted that in press conferences and post matches and stuff like that as well. But there's been an element of quality throughout, and like Alan touched upon there, it's been the manager as well. Only Brendan can get this group of players to face up to adversity when it's not looking as good as what it can be. It was not long ago we all thought, God, this could be the end of the season, when we were down against Motherwell, remember? And we brought on Adam Ida, came on and scored a brace, and then certain people might say that was the turning point of this season, and from them I've never really looked back in terms of, you could probably look at the game at Tynecastle after that. But after that, I mean, we've kind of, like you says, Ryan, we've kind of gathered momentum. We've got our players back for injury, and we've just get better and better and better, and performance levels have increased as well. And I agree with you, mate. I think this season's coming to an end too quickly for some of these guys, because they're just starting to find a bit of form. So, but all in all, mate, like I said it earlier on here, that if we had a lesser type and quality type manager, we probably wouldn't be sitting here now saying we're ready to win this league. And like Alan says there, we're ready to win this title next Saturday.
And like I say, I'm not going to apologise for things I've said about the manager or the players, because they've been right. Some of the decisions, I know it's the player. See, there's a big difference between being baffled about some decisions and then questioning the manager's ability. It's a big difference. I've questioned some of his decision making, some of his subs, some of the players he's played, some of the play on the park, especially start of the season. It didn't look like the players were really grasping what he was trying to do or what he was putting across. But if you question him as a manager in terms of his ability as a manager, if he's elite, no elite, or he's good or he's bad, then maybe apologise, because no matter what you're feeling towards him, if you didn't like him or you thought he was this or thought he was that, as a manager, the guy is an elite quality manager, right? And I've said that through the season, no matter what I've said about questioning decision making, playing Scales or playing Taylor or playing Yang or making this sub or making that sub. That's just me thinking as a fan, right? I wouldn't have done that. I don't think that's right. I'm seeing these guys, I don't think that's right, but the man's okay. I need to go with it. I'm only as a fan on here talking, questioning decisions he's making, but I'm not questioning him as a manager. It's a big difference. So I'm not going to apologise for saying that, and that's still my opinion. I don't think he should be playing Scales or playing that guy or playing that guy. But that's just me thinking as a fan. No, I'm not criticising him as a manager. It's a big difference. So if people made abuse of him or their question his ability as a manager, then I apologise, because you can't question his ability as a manager. It's a big difference between criticising decision making or criticising his full ability as a manager. But then,
when he said it himself, Ryan, he's been treated like a novice this season by many.
It's been especially some of the fans.
Circumstances he's been given as well.
Circumstances, I think, see, when we take a look back and we go through, which we always do.
He was also branded sexist as well, by the way.
Aye, we'll go through a review of the season and stuff, right? See when you take a step back, right, and you do the heat. See when we come on to after games, right? We've only got a day or two to mull out things and stuff, and your reactions are quite an emotion, right? But see when you take a step back through the season, I'll probably look back, all right, I was too harsh there, But you can only talk it what you're seeing at the time. Doesn't matter what happened last week before. See, after a game, you can only comment at that time. So you can't apologise for thinking something at that time. You can maybe look back into the season and go, right, but me now I'm understanding the position he was in, like Aaron says, because he's kind of maybe went through some of the recruitment process for last season under Ange. And some of these players, again, I don't know by the gospel, I don't know people in the board or anything like that. I'm just reading between the lines that some of these players were already earmarked by the board or by the recruitment team. He's went with it because he's seen the process has been decent so far for us. It's won his leagues. It's won it's got into the Champions League again. So he's thought, right, some of these players are still good here that you've got through this process. I'll get to maybe next summer. We'll see how we go. And I think he's realised now, JP, that some of the team isn't good enough for what he wants to do. And now in the summer, he'll get to put his stamp on it. So I think now you can then wait in the summer. And then you can go, right, okay, Brendan, there's some dosh. Get your team. Now we can get fully judged, because it's his team now for summer. He's just come in here to obviously be shocked a bit for Angie's. Brian, I'm not apologising for anything, mate. I've said nothing that deserves to be apologetic. I've made critical comments about his decision making, and rightly so, because Liam Scales is, again, I'll go back to it, Liam Scales will not be in Celtic's team next year. Greg Taylor, and if they are, then I will go Tonto, because it's not good enough for him.
Right, let's look back. Like I've said for the last year, let's look back in the last 4 transfer windows, right? So we played well at the weekend there. How many of the last 4 transfer windows were in that starting 11?
One player. So
that's where Brendan shouldn't be judged. Brendan's doing well with what he's got.
Yep.
Right, but the players that have come in, there's so many of them that are deadwood that need to move on, are not contributing, and that's a matter of fact. We were capable of so much better, but because of the recruitment team and such for the last few transfer windows, it's simply not good enough. And you can see that. It's there as a
But
matter of fact.
it just shows you as well, but he's had these, if you want to call them the full lifters, your McGregors, your Carter Vickers, Kyogo back on form, O'Reilly back on form. It helps the manager because he knows that the players will do it for him. The guys that he trusts, the guys that he can count upon. There's some guys maybe on the bench, some guys in the stands that he maybe can't trust to play. Because there's a lot of people don't realise as well, right? Managers will play guys on ability, but managers will play guys who they trust as well. And Mulgrew was on open goal, and he said that. He says, Neil Lennon played me at left mid, not because I could play left mid, because he trusted me that I could do the job. Hold on a
wee minute. Part of the reason. That's why he probably trusts Scales ahead of the other.
Hold on a wee minute.
Possibly, aye.
No, hold on a wee minute. There's a comment just come in for me there. Celtic said Ryan Rodgers. Right, Rodgers' shout isn't as bad as JP saying Palmer has the best cross at the club. I'll tell you what, Celtic, the best cross this season I've seen was his outside his boot cross to goal. And if you need to go and yes, to big goal, go and watch that cross. That cross is the best cross I've ever seen.
I still think Palmer, I think in our pre-season, JP, I think
he passes the ball, by the way, he passes the ball like a midfielder.
I think he might improve Palmer in the summer. I think he's still a decent player for us, mate. I really do. I think he's technically he's good. His numbers tell you that he's a big game as much as he might not be.
He's not going to turn up pace to have the effect of Scottish football. He's a different prospect to player. You look at David Turnbull as well. He's no. He'll do well in the Championship, but he's not got that turn of pace.
He's not doing well now.
Attacking player. He might well do, but I think Palmer's along the same lines. He's not
I still think Palmer will contribute next season. I do believe that
for me, to clarify, the best cross I've seen this season was that. And if there was an award for that last night, I guarantee he would have got that.
But no, I do feel when we take a step back for the season, there's maybe things we can look at that maybe contributed to why we've not been as good, be it injuries. Recruitment for me is the biggest thing, JP, and some of the players have not been able to maybe do what Brendan wants and what he wants to play his teams. And I think that's when we'll see in the summer. But the game at the weekend, for me, you're talking about Maeda. Thought it was superb. Again, I've been maybe critical, not just me, a lot of Celtic fans. I've been critical, maybe he's technically maybe not the best of the wingers of his. But I'll tell you, at the weekend, he was very good technically. So I think that maybe takes that out of the argument that he's not technically very good. He's maybe just inconsistency from. But like I says, you can have all the ability in the world, but see if you've no got some of the stuff he's got, the high intensity press, the will to drive and shut guys down and chase back, and that is absolutely priceless at any level of football.
He puts fear into people, Ryan. You
can have ability, but if you've no got what he's got, that drive, determination, and the will to go and shut that's down to him as an individual. That's not a manager telling you to do it, because a manager can tell you, you can ding him. You don't need to do it. You don't need to do it. But he does it because he wants to do it for himself and the team. You see Kyogo as well. So only thing, I don't know what you feel, but this JP, then he can put talent after it. I still think we're lacking something in midfield because Kyogo's getting really frustrated. I seen him at the weekend, the amount of runs he's making, and they're not finding him. And they need to find him, because I'm only talking from my experience. When I played up front, you do get peed off with it, and you will stop making runs because you're thinking, why do I make runs if I'm not getting it? So that's when he will get frustrated, because I've seen him a few times.
He can't stop making runs because you've got whipped out of the team if he does.
No, but if he... But
I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you mean.
It's frustrating for him.
Yeah, definitely. I think normally we talk about Hatate's quality. I think normally you see Hatate and he's got that, he can thread the eye and he'll do with a pass. Matt O'Reilly's also a very good passer to Kyogo as well. We've seen that in the Champions League where we more or less cut through Atletico Madrid for the goal, and it was those two that done it. I think the problem is, and this isn't trying to get away from anything, I think sometimes Kyogo's movement's that fast that they just generally don't pick it up. But I do know what you mean. We need that. So we need someone to come in with that finesse to see what Callum McGregor tried to do. He just put too much on it. It was in front of you, Ryan. He put one to Maeda, but he just put too much on it away for the wee man. Sometimes I think we need to try that earlier with Kyogo. Sometimes if it's no on to go through the middle, you just need to go over the centre back rather than, or even go round them. But it needs to be a bit sharper. I know what you mean. Instead of maybe playing that extra, that extra pass or just one touch and zip round the corner, or, I would have loved to have seen more of Tom Rogic in with Kyogo because he used to find them quite a lot as well. And yeah, I know what you mean. But I think if it's just me, then fine, I'll take my medicine if everybody starts to jump on me here. But the last wee while, I've seen a different side to us in terms of physicality. McGregor getting in about it and making tackles and letting people kick him and laughing at him and having a bit of Brownie swagger about him. I thought that was brilliant on Saturday. I really, really did. And it kind of set the tempo. The week before, he's chasing 45 yards, winning 2 tackles, running away with the ball, and the place just went mental after that. They start doing the huddle and everything because, like I say, Awata comes on straight away, man. He put, who was it? Was it Sterling? I think he put him in his arse. Excuse my language, but he just backed into him and stuck him in his arse. And, there is physicality. You look at Big Ida. He comes on straight away and he's pinning him right away. He wasn't on the park that long and he caused havoc. Absolute havoc. And again, he's one of those players that strike fear into the opponent. And he's unlucky with that one he goes through. Raskin done well to pull out of that because if he doesn't, he's potentially putting his team in severe trouble and they're down to 9 men, But I think the last wee while, Ryan, we spoke about the beginning of the season, we're too wee, we're too lightweight, but you've seen it in games that, especially the derbies, mate, we've been so physical, especially McGregor, getting right in people's faces, even Greg Taylor, bouncing into people, letting people know he's there.
Was probably at fault with physicality for their goal.
He probably
was,
mate.
Physical, but you can't have it always. We're technically better than every team in the league, including them. So
no, definitely, but we do have elements of physicality in my team. I think that's my point.
I think they are probably more physical than us. And I'd rather kind of give that away, the physicality, that we are technically better. I think that's shown with the kind of us tapping the league, us not being beat after him this season as well. So, but you see the physicality with Greg Taylor. As Ryan stated earlier about Liam Scales, I don't know, looks as if he was looking for a taxi and that's at Sherline. So that's criminal stuff, that's schoolboy, right? You can't expect Greg Taylor to, but that's Sterling, he's a big boy, you know what I mean? He looks as if he's built, he looks as if he's ripped. He's going to boss you about the bother, you're looking at Greg Taylor. Greg Taylor's got other attributes that I fully respect, but if you're looking at the back post and you've got that Sterling there, Greg Taylor against them, there's only one winner. We need another centre-half in there that's going to be adequate to make sure the balls are dealt with.
No, I need to stop you there because Greg Taylor won 5 out of the 6 headers that both of them went for.
He didn't win the one that was scored. Who cares about the other ones?
No, I do.
They scored a goal, well, they scored a goal.
By the way, there was a reason why they moved Sterling position, because he wasn't getting any joy.
No.
It wasn't because his shooter was injured either. He wasn't getting any joy, that's why they moved him. I said that to the boy behind me.
Well, we did get joy, you put it across and they scored a goal. It was the most joy they had to see in the whole game.
If that's the only joy he walked away with, then they're in trouble. They're in soapy.
They scored a goal, it's not about if they're in trouble. I know, we need to look at what happened against us. And they scored a goal because Liam Scales, Alistair Johnston didn't stop the cross. Liam Scales was floating about as if he was on Mars. And Greg Taylor he could have put up with the physicality that Rangers
Carlton
had.
Cole scored a goal, mate. It means
what?
hee-haw. Carlton Cole scored a goal for Celtic. It means
Well, we're
90.
discussing this game. Ended 2-1. Right? They scored a goal. So the goal they scored is important in that game. If they scored another one, then that first goal's massively important. And we're looking down the reasons why that happened. The reasons that happened, as you said, Alistair Johnston should have stopped the cross. William Scales should have been on planet Earth. And Greg Taylor, I don't really blame Greg Taylor. He's not got the physicality. We know that. He's got other attributes to his game, but he needs support when it comes to other players with physicality in that team, because he's not got the attributes to deal with that kind of ball in. He's low, and it's his height, his weight, etc. So we can't deal with that. If we've got a different setup, that we're looking for physicality, we're looking for players to be on our side with physicality, then so be it. But the way we are playing at present, the players that we choose at present, Greg Taylor can. It really can be put to blame for that kind of goal for me.
No, I would agree. Trying to think, but what was the initial
What
point?
are we talking about? I know. Physicality.
No, aye, physicality. No,
It
I
is.
just think that, the battle, for me, the battle's always won in midfieldery games. I think, Ryan, you could agree yourself, mate, that, McGregor set the tone most of this season in the derbies, big time. I really do think the battle, he set the standard against Cantwell, and he's done the same against Tom Lawrence today. So I really do think that it's that's where the nitty gritty is. That's where the games are immensely dominated, right?
I do agree with you in terms of the last kind of few weeks. The physicality team's been a wee bit better. Definitely, I did say that against Hearts. We were a bit more good in the battle.
Right. Yeah, Tony, Barry will be back on. Barry will be back on tomorrow night, mate. He's on his road back from holiday at the moment, so he's going to come on tomorrow and do the pre-match for the Kilmarnock game. So we'll be back on tomorrow night.
I do think I did say last week against Hearts 2 weeks ago that I do feel the last few weeks we have been a bit more physically demanding. But I do feel that's because they know it's coming at the crunch time of the season and they've had to step up a wee bit and had to make sure that, listen, we need to push on here. It's getting to nitty gritty, and that's where the team does rise. I actually thought Tony Ralston done well when he came on as well. I might not be his biggest fan, but I will be praising when praise needs to be given, and I thought he done well. He was kind of reassuring when he came on and done his job. And again, James Forrest, I thought James Forrest was really good. He was really, really good. I'm starting to really kind of go with Brendan that in terms of ability, he might be the best one at the club in terms of full ability. He's still got that ability there. But obviously, for a longer period of time, he can't do it for the full 90 minutes because obviously injuries, and he's just getting to the stage of his career now where the team's moving on and maybe his ability is where it is now in terms of the way we want to play. But again, I do feel again people might shoot me down on here, but obviously I was at the game myself and it was at my end a lot of it, especially in the first half. I thought Fabio Silva bullied Alistair Johnson in the first half. I thought Johnson was shocking. I thought Big Silva had to measure him in the first half. Every ball, every tackle, I thought Big Silva done really well against him. And Big Silva, let's be fair, he's a big fairy. He's not been really well for him, but I thought he had a good first half, Big Silva, to be fair. But the second half, I thought Johnson done well when obviously his injury as well, which was the tackle for Lundstrom. Again, how Kenny Miller can, a guy who played at that level, can sit there and say that that's not a red is it's beyond me. It's embarrassing that nobody for Sky even put him up about it, because it's really not on that you can sit on national TV and say that when you're totally blinded by your team. Even though I think he's a Hibs fan, but he's obviously Rangers side. I know he's played with two teams, but the way he talks, you would think that he's obviously part of them. But no, listen, I'm happy. I know again. Listen, you've got to dissect the game. everything. I know it was a massive victory and positive, but there was parts of the game like the goal, and you've got to obviously criticise it. But overall, JP, I'm in cloud nine. I'm not want to be. I'm not want to sit and make it real big negatives, because we've got 2 big massive games to go, a cup final still to go. Just keep going into the game on Wednesday. Go to Kelly, it'll be a tough game, but I'd like to think we'll go with the momentum now, and we'll go and get the 3 points, and then, or even a point all days, obviously. Anything we get, we'll win the league, mate. So it's all positive at the end of the season, and then we can look to the summer and we just go for them, mate.
Yeah, 100%. Guys and girls and boys and girls and ladies and gents, I don't know if any have paid attention, but on the running bar running past the screen here, the unrestricted view are currently doing a bonus ball for these fantastical prizes. Here they are. I'll take away the banner for a second to show you the prizes. So for a 1 in 3 chance, guys, to win one of these fantastic prizes. So the top prize is the treble medals that you can see at the top of the picture. The second prize is a Europa League medal versus Bayer Leverkusen in the 30th of September 2021. And the third prize is a Celtic goodie bag. To enter this, all you have to do is pay £2 into this PayPal account here, the RyanClifford9@aol.co.uk. So we've had some really good feedback, and people have took some numbers already. I do apologise, guys. I've not done any updates for a couple of days now because I have been busy over the weekend, as we all have. So apologies if nobody's seen any recent updates. But from now, I will be back on it and annoying people about this until we get this filled and sorted. So if anybody would like to take part and enter into this draw, please send your £2 into this PayPal account on your screen just now. And also, folks, if you don't have PayPal and you want to pay by another way, you have to message us privately. So you have to message the page on any one of the social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. Myself and Ryan are pretty much in charge of them all, and we will get back to you pretty much straight away. So I do apologise, as I say, the last couple of days has been a wee bit wavered, but that's can't be helped. I've had a bit busy life myself as well. Been busy with my family and obviously been at the football on Saturday. So, but I'll be back on it and annoying people now. So, and yeah, just as Anne James says in the comments here, please, if you're going to message into the PayPal, please give us a wee note of who you are, so we don't just write in what the Americans call people that go into hospital, John Doe. And your numbers will be selected at random. I'll do my best to tell everyone what they have. I don't actually have my book to hand just now. It's on a different surface that's not too handy to where I am just now, so I do apologise. But if you message us on Facebook or Twitter or any one of the social medias, I can give you your numbers if you've already taken part. I want to say a massive thanks to everyone who has took part, and best of luck to those who still to take part. Guys, obviously, yourself, Alan, for £2, mate, prizes are pretty decent, I would say.
Definitely. Even the third prize with a few select kind of gifts as well. They're worth in value far more than your £2. So it's a great wee raffle to have, and some of the medals as well that you could win. But a great prize to get. So
yeah,
we look forward to kind of giving the prizes out.
Yeah, Definitely. Ryan, it can't be sniffed at. £2, mate. It's an absolute steal.
Like I said last week, mate, you can very rarely now get a boat iron Bruno when you're rough the next day, mate, for £2, mate. So I was searching for that the other day, and I tell you what, it's me on £2 these days. So, but I know, listen, it's nice for you gifts, obviously, that our partners gave us, MCM Frame Services. So definitely, it's like I say, it's just unfortunate. The week I take part, I'll be good because I like to get a hold of myself, mate. So yeah, if anybody does want to get in contact with us, you can contact us on all the pages, Facebook, TikTok as well. So Instagram, social media, any social media platform, we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
I will do an update tomorrow. I'll take a photograph of what the book's looking like. Brian, if you want to know your numbers, mate, I'm sorry I've not got my book to hand. If you want to message us after we finish, I'll be able to give you your numbers in, mate. I think most people know their numbers by now, Ryan, don't they? Anyway, the ones that have take part. And if you've not taken part, come on in and take part and you'll win the draw. The draw will be live. We'll do the draw live. And like I say, it's a 1 in 3 chance for you to win. So don't be shy, give it a try. You never know what you could end up with.
I've got number 101, 102.
I'm not even going to say that to you, Alan, because you'd just be playing into your
that, did you?
Aye, I did. But it's a school night, mate. My brain's gone elsewhere now, so I'm trying to focus on what I'm doing tomorrow. So I wait to take a flying focus to yourself, you know what I'm saying. So, but as I said earlier, when Sony asked where was Barry Bannon? Barry Bannon will be joining us tomorrow. Come on, Scott. You've got to be kidding. That was up for about half an hour there. Here it's here, mate. There you go. I can't be any more. Can't be any better for you. Right. So just before we finish, if Tony, you're still watching, mate, you know the drill, mate. Barry Bannon will be joining us tomorrow night. We'll win tomorrow, probably about 8:30. Yeah. Barry's been away on holiday, so he's been away celebrating his victorious Sheffield Wednesday staying in the league. So, yeah, good on him. Be a good chat tomorrow, wasn't it, Ryan? Obviously, the wee man's coming on to have a chat with us and give us his thought. We'll get his thoughts on the game as well. I'm not even going to tell you where he's been because I think that's going to be part of tomorrow night. He's going to give us a lowdown of where he's been and like
I say, it's always good to get Barry's views, IP, obviously, because of the level he's playing at and obviously his knowledge of the game, but it's also different opinions because we're all fans at the end of the day, mate, and we all see games differently and we all think differently about players or what happened during the game. And so it's always good to get different opinions, IP. One thing is we don't all agree, which is a good thing because nobody wants to listen to people agreeing all the time because if people debate and people argue or people don't agree with opinions, then it makes for good viewing as well for people. So it's good to get people's opinions, mate. And I look forward to get, obviously, Barry's views, mate. It'll be another good positive podcast. I've just received £10, JP, sorry.
From, that might be one of your half 10 subscribers, mate. You'll need to go and differentiate what that's
from fine. Maggie McHattie.
Aye.
There you go.
Maggie McHattie.
Aye.
What a name.
I'm sure she took the last one as well. That's her. Eminem. That's what it must be.
Eminem.
Brilliant.
Right. I was trying to rack my brain there, going, who's Maggie? I was actually starting to think there that it was one of his half 10 subscribers.
It's been received, thank you. It's been received.
Come on, anytime, you'll be welcome. But pleasure as always, lads. Cheers for your time. And we'll see you all again tomorrow evening, folks. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail.
Stay cool.
The real Rangers were coming once again, they said. 3 in a row.